You're listening to the John and Heidi Show. Now, featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Farris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
Time now for the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Mr. Dan Farris. How you doing, Dan?
Doing pretty darn good, John. You?
I am fantastic.
Heidi.
Dan.
Ready? Hey, big day today. A close personal friend of ours and a great radio partner, by the way. Vinny Brown. ABN Army Surplus Tactical Gear. Our buddy Vinny.
Happy birthday.
Is fitty today.
Nice.
Fitty.
He is fitty.
So I wonder, will he be in the shop today, do you think?
Boy, good question.
I did. Deliver some cupcakes.
I spoke with him yesterday. Yeah, we should get by there. Whether he's, I would think he'd be there. Well, I mean, hey, he was Navy, man. He does his job.
That's awesome.
You know, so that's all there is to that. So yeah, happy birthday, Vinny.
Happy birthday to you.
Appreciate your partnership, your friendship, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What else is going on in history? Let's see. Speaking of military, it was this day, 1915, the U.S. Coast Guard was created.
Oh, nice.
They actually merged, which were two existing branches of what was considered military back then, known as the U.S. Life Saving Service.
Okay.
And the U.S. Revenue Cutter Service.
Really?
Yeah, those were like two things. And they put them together and said, we are now the U.S. Coast Guard.
Coast Guard.
So that's kind of cool. And I love this story because I'm a huge fan. Motor City Madman, Uncle Teddy Nugent.
Yeah, I've talked to him on the program.
There were some questions after this happened, but what are you going to do? It was 1978 this day. After a concert, Ted Nugent autographed a fan's arm. Big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except he used his knife to do it.
Oh, my gosh.
Apparently it was a big fan.
Whoa.
Yikes.
It's like, what?
That is messed
I
up.
think it's hilarious.
Jeez.
And it was this day, 1985, the charity single heard around the world, We Are the World.
Yes.
Was recorded. It was USA for African Relief, actually. Won Song of the Year for the Grammys, which just happened the other night.
I remember that video. I loved that video.
47 artists
Yeah.
took place in singing that bad boy.
It was super cool.
Yep,
That's
it
very
was
cool.
Something else. So yeah, if you're not familiar with it at all, just jump on YouTube, punch it up, 1985, We Are the World, and see how many of those faces you remember.
That's right.
I recognize most of
Some
them.
of them are no longer with us.
Well, 47, that's a lot of people in a studio. In fact, they did
is.
it at Kenny Rogers Ranch, actually. It was a private studio.
Oh, cool.
Kenny Rogers, yep. So,
I don't
interesting.
know if I believe any of that.
Well, John, you can call me out, but you got to realize I don't care.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At bettercreditcards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for Ranger Dan's Critter Corner.
Well, I'm rough, tough, and ready. I'm a heck of a man. Eat my beans and weenies from a frying pan.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I love to wrestle bears and lasso ducks. Run over possums in my government truck.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I loves all the campers and the animals too. If you're picking on critters, I'm coming after you.
He's Ranger Dan.
Yes, sir. I'm Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Whoops! Whoa! Woo! I almost missed the floor, and that ain't easy to do. Hello, Heidi Pie.
Hello, Ranger Dan.
You crazy little minx, you. Oh, hello, John.
Hey, what's up?
Well, let's see here. Big story clearing the wires over the weekend. There's an elk problem in our great state of South Dakota.
Oh, no.
I think this bears sharing here. North American elk are returning to the prairies in western South Dakota after more than 100 years of absence. That's a migration seen as a win-win for the wildlife conservation folks, but farmers and ranchers, it's a big loser.
Oh.
Bothered by huge feed losses, property damage, you name it. Elks on a rampage all across the prairie. Now, normally they're just beholden over the West River area around the Black Hills, and that's where most of the hunting happens. But now they migrated out onto the prairie, doing a whole heck of a lot of damage. In fact, last year alone, cost state $100,000 with complaints. And I read into this story from the Game Fish and Parks Department, and for the life of me, I can't find an angle on it. So let's move on. A lot of the folks who came out for the first annual Ranger Dan Ice Fish Fest out of Catfish Bay over the weekend, well, they were just into catching the fish. They really didn't want to keep them or clean them or nothing else. Well, dang, if I was going to let them put them back. So turns out Ranger Dan Associates got about 400 or 500 pounds of fresh fish. When you think about it, a lot of those fish are walleyes. Do you realize fresh, clean and filleted walleyes cost anywhere from $15, $18 a pound? That's a true story.
Oh, that's crazy.
Largemouth bass, $5 to $6 a pound. Bluegills and crappies, nobody really cares. I know I don't. So several hundred pounds of fish now. This is the first annual Ranger Dan Fish Blowout Sale will be taking place tomorrow morning from 6A to 8A at Ken's Corner, 6th and Menlo. Ken's Corner, your neighborhood country club. This will be a mixed bag event. Get your variety packs for just $3.95 a pound. What? I'll say it again. Just $3.95 a pound. That's going to include your walleyes, your bass, and your crappies, and your bluegills now. These fish are completely intact. Same darn condition as they were when they cleared the old ice hole, only now they're dead.
Can you say ice hole on the radio?
You sure can. I did. I'll say it again. Ice hole, ice hole, ice hole. Be sure to bring your own bags. Ranger Dan ain't made out of money. So here's the thing. These fish are intact. You're going to want to clean them. So what the heck? We're going to throw in this special deal one time only for just $39.95. You're going to get yourself an official Ranger Dan electric fish fillet knife. Now wait, there's more. That comes with an 8-inch heavy-duty shark replacement blade and an official Ranger Dan label hastily glued over the Black & Decker logo in the $17.95 price sticker. Ken's Corner tomorrow. 6A to 8A, big fish blowout sale. Again, bring your own bags. I'm not made out of money. That's it for Ranger Dan this morning. Hey, little radio rangers, you know the drill. Go to school, get your church, say your prayers, eat your vegetables, don't be playing soccer. Don't let me catch you wearing Crocs. This is Ranger Dan. Out. Yes, sir.
Again, Ranger Dan's Critter Corner. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour.
It's a new year. Have you made a resolution to quit drinking or to finally get away from drugs for good? These are both habits that are hard to kick, but you can do it. We want to help you. TimeForRehab.com is here to help you find the help you need with your particular situation. If you want to make this year the year you get the help you need to live a normal life again, start with a little help from us at TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com.
Time now for Water Cooler Talk, brought to you by Aqua One. We've got Mr. Dan Farris back in the studio. You got some important stuff there, Dan?
It's a little different. It's a little different. Out of Pierre comes this story. Of course, lots of legislation going on, a big hubbub that made national news. What piece of legislation that would make it illegal for medical folks to do transgender or gender reassignment, anything for kids 16 and under. You've been following that story. I know I have. Anyway, that's moving through. Who knows what's going to happen with that? But I found this pretty interesting, too. This is legislation now that would keep commercial brokers out of the surrogacy business in South Dakota. Has been filed. Surrogacy, that's where somebody carries somebody else's baby and money changes hands and all. You're familiar with that.
Yeah.
Right? That's been going on for quite a while. Known as HB 1096. It would make it a Class 1 misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in county jail for people to advertise or contract for commercial surrogacy.
Oh, really?
Really?
Now, this would not apply to the mother who is carrying the child, and I love this part, in her womb, as opposed to on her head. Carrying a child in her womb and gives birth to the child, whether or not she was genetically related to the child. A bunch of representatives are sponsoring this thing, and there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot. Surrogacy is big business. It can cost easily $6 figures, up to $250,000 to get this done. But normally agencies come into play and they match people up, and there's the genetics involved, and all kinds of things go on. It's pretty complicated. All this is saying is it would be a misdemeanor for these, I guess, these companies or whatever to actually advertise it, which doesn't make any sense to
No,
me.
it doesn't make any sense at all.
I don't recall ever seeing a marketing campaign for this ever. I'm not sure how this works. So it's a little murky, but they're talking about things that comes down to ethical things and moral things and who's doing what and genetically, or is this woman just doing it for the money? Well,
Who cares?
Again,
If she's willing to do it, what difference does it make?
Yeah, it's a story. It just really caught my attention. What? Okay.
That's crazy.
That's interesting.
Just a little odd, but I think it's just important that the government gets as heavily involved.
Yes.
In everything.
Every
as
single
possible.
aspect of our lives.
Everything we do, because I was living like just a pagan until I bought those curly light bulbs.
I'm still not a fan of those curly light bulbs, by the way. Did you stock up and get a whole bunch of the incandescent ones?
Yeah, I had a guy.
The lady who owned the house we bought apparently thought that the end of the world was coming, because when we bought the house,
We are set.
there were light bulbs for
light
days.
bulbs.
We got a lot of light bulbs. Dan, thank you for coming in, sir.
My
Coming up
pleasure,
in a
John.
bit, we're gonna blow the lid off Dan's "We Are the World" story that he told earlier. Oh, just you wait, Dan. You are on notice.
I'm shaking in my boots, man.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris.
Want to make your sweetheart smile next month for Valentine's Day? Find some fun, matching shirts at funkymonkeyshirts.com. We have a whole collection of fun shirts for you lovebirds.
My wife rocks.
My man rocks.
We also have many silly shirts that will make you smile any day of the year.
My ex-wife was a trophy wife.
Participation trophy.
Find something fun for a loved one, friend, or for yourself at funkymonkeyshirts.com. That's funkymonkeyshirts.com.
Time now for the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris. And earlier in the program, Dan was telling us that it was on this date, 1985,
Correct.
that they sang "We Are the World."
Right.
And that's all correct. But then you said that they recorded it in Kenny Rogers' closet or something.
No,
What was it?
it was Kenny Rogers' studio.
It could be. It was at the A&M recording studio in Hollywood. Kenny Rogers may own it. It does not say that on here.
Well,
But
then you can't say I'm incorrect.
I didn't say you're wrong, but here's some pretty cool stuff. You know, some
Can't say
people.
I'm wrong.
I never said you was wrong. I just said we're going to blow the lid off the story, because take a listen to this. Here's some things I didn't know about the USA for Africa song, "We Are the World."
We are the world.
There were over 50 artists that were turned away because they didn't have room for everybody. So there were 50 people who wanted to sing. The night of the recording was January 28th, and it was in the studio in Hollywood. And the reason that they did it there is everybody was just like in the neighborhood for the where's it at? I just read that here. The
Kenny Rogers'
American
house.
Music Awards. Yeah,
Kenny
they were
Rogers'
at
house.
Kenny's house.
They're all at
No.
Kenny's house.
It says many of the
Using the
participants
tanning bed.
came straight.
Anybody want some Botox slammed into their face?
I don't see Kenny Rogers on this list anywhere. It says that, I think Dan's pulling my leg again. But they came from the American Music Awards ceremony that was the same night. And it was like Ray Charles, Billy Joel, Diana Ross, Cyndi Lauper, Bruce Springsteen, Tina Turner. Nowhere do I see Kenny Rogers. I'm going to have to keep looking to see if I find him on here. But here's somebody who was invited that didn't show up. Prince.
What?
Yeah, Prince was supposed to be there. They had a part for Prince to sing. He was going to be singing with Michael Jackson, and he just didn't show up. You know who else was invited that didn't show up? Eddie Murphy.
What?
Exactly. Eddie, and it says right here, Eddie Murphy was asked to participate. He turned him down because he was busy recording Party All the Time.
Well, I can see that.
Eddie Murphy later said he realized what it was and felt like an idiot. He's like, oh, is that what? He thought he was.
we were doing.
He was just going to a party. He's like, you guys just want some funny guy. But here's my favorite line in this entire thing. When they were coming in, there was a sign that says, check your egos at the door. And standing next to that sign was Stevie Wonder, who was telling everybody, hey, guys, when we're done, Ray Charles and I are driving everybody home because they're both blind.
Okay.
I think that's
Thanks for clearing that up, John.
I just want to make sure you're on there. So I think this is pretty cool. It's neat stuff.
Oh, it's a great story. 47 people in Kenny Rogers' house singing.
I don't think any of them were. It says the studio's here. I'm going to have to keep on looking to see if Kenny Rogers is involved. But
Dig a little deeper.
thus far. Well, coming up here in a bit, we're going to get some entertainment news. That's on the way. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris.
Student loan debt is out of control for many people. Are you one of them? The average graduate walks away with anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 in student loans. Believe it or not, 2% even manage to owe over $100,000 by the time they graduate. If you have several different student loans, let us consolidate them into one loan and one payment at singlestudentloan.com. If you have only one student loan, we may be able to offer you a better rate to help you get that loan paid off sooner at singlestudentloan.com. That's singlestudentloan.com.
Time now for entertainment news of the day with Mr. Dan Farris.
Snap them if you got them. Celebrities are fabulous. I hold them in high esteem.
Yes.
It's what I do.
You were right, by the way. Kenny Rogers did sing on that song.
Hello. Who's your daddy now, John?
Ooh, I was wrong that you were wrong. You were
Somebody
right.
owes me an apology.
Instead of an apology, can I take you to lunch?
Absolutely. Hey, let's see. A couple things here. First, I want to note, and I thought this was hilarious. I mean, you guys are more than familiar with my storied lifelong friendship with Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We haven't talked about him in a while.
Well, here's the thing, and this just cracked me up. This couple I know is throwing a party this upcoming Saturday night, and they like to theme everything. And
Right.
this year's soiree is a white trash party.
I've heard
What
of
could
this.
possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm a pretty dapper guy. I'm a pretty classy dude because, I cover the celebrity beats. I'm like, I'm not quite sure this white trash thing. I'm probably going to need a different shirt than what I own. So I honest to goodness, I jump on Al Gore's interwebs here, and it's like, I don't even know what to punch up. So I actually punch up white trash apparel.
Are you serious?
I'm not making this up, and all kinds of stuff's cropping up. Did you know white trash and lesbians both wear plaid shirts?
Are you serious?
Just one with sleeves and one without. It's just that weird to me. So I'm dialing through this thing, and I find all kinds of shirts and weird stuff, and all of a sudden, down at the bottom it's like, other things you may be interested in, or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Okay, and here's like some weird 6-pack holder and things to do with whatever.
Right.
And all of a sudden, here's an offer for Keanu Reeves' John Wick 3 movie. And I went, what?
Hey, wait. I
minute.
am interested in that.
This fits into this whole realm. How?
What does this say about me?
I thought that was pretty funny. Hey, let's jump into the box office, shall we?
All right, yeah. What's going on there?
Box office, and I'm going to go from number 10 up to number 1 this time, just for
wow.
something different. Number 10.
I'm going to sit down.
Knives Out has been in the top 10 for
It has been.
probably a half year at this
Are they
point.
doing okay?
They're doing okay. Did another $3.5 million over the weekend for a grand total of $152 million so far.
That's a Kenny Rogers movie.
It is. All of these things are somehow related to Kenny Rogers. We need to establish that.
Filmed it at his house.
Just Mercy at number 9. I don't know what it is. It's about short chicks, Little Women. 4.6 mil over the weekend. Grand total $93 million since its release. So that's pretty good. And of course, runaway fave at number 7 these days, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Now this is just domestically. Internationally, it's cleared $1 billion, but here in the States, it's just cleared $500 million.
Nice.
Okay, there you go. Number 6, The Turning. Don't know what it is. Jumanji's at number
That's still in the theaters?
5.
Wow.
Jumanji is it's eking up towards $300 million since its release. This one surprises me. The Gentleman, the new release from Matthew McConaughey. The trailers look pretty cool, and you'd think a movie from Matthew McConaughey would just bam be right there. It's not. It only did $10.5 million over the weekend.
Oh wow!
And that was in over 2,000 theaters.
Holy cow!
Doolittle, the new Dr. Doolittle deal, $12 million with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
44 mil so far, and at number 2, 1917.
Still holding
Wow,
strong.
yeah,
Nominated
that's
for,
fantastic.
10 Oscars, I believe, coming up for the Academy Awards. Did $16 million for a total of $103 million so far. And brand new release, it is Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, Bad Boys for Life, or Bad Boys 3, I believe. $34 million. So far, it's done $120 million. If you want a quick breakout on that movie, it's Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, Marcus Barnett is now a police inspector, and Mike Lowry is in a midlife crisis. They reunite once again when an Albanian mercenary whose brother they killed promises them an important bonus.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah. Sounds like my weekend.
I haven't seen it, nor have I seen the trailer. Going to go out on a limb here. I think there's going to be some car chases and some gunplay.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah.
And some shenanigans.
And whoever is in charge is going to go, you're wearing me out. I swear to God, you're why I drink.
Yeah.
I'm getting too old for this.
All these hooligans.
Can't take this. You drive me crazy.
It's probably what's going to happen. I've not seen it, but I'll have to go check it out. That
How
sounds
many
really
times do I have to tell you to?
Have you seen the original or any of the Bad Boys movies at all?
I have.
Have you? Good.
Sure, yeah.
The original was
I have not.
supposed to be John Lovitz and Dana Carvey, I think.
That's a little different.
Yeah, then they ended up going a different route and saying, hey, instead of making it a comedy, let's do this. So I think they made the right choice. Although it would be funny to see
That's actually one
John
I have
Lovitz.
not seen.
You haven't seen Bad Boys?
It's still popular. I mean, it's at number one, and it's
Yeah.
made 120 mil so far. So, yeah, people are still digging that franchise.
Taking Heidi out for a date tonight.
There you go. You should go to Kenny Rogers'
I was
house.
just going to say
Because
that.
that's where everybody else went in 1985.
Don't think any of that's
He's still telling people to leave.
Hey, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. All right. Dan, thanks for coming in, man.
Sure thing, John.
Again, Dan Farris joins us
Barely keeping it together. That's Just tell it like it is.
for the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris.